The Code A tournament for GSL October has been determined. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to find out who these new players are. I'm Nomad, and I have all the info on this month's Code A preliminary winners. MVP Terran player Dream is making his return to Code A this month. Dream qualified back in July, where he made it to the round of 8 before losing to Lena. Unfortunately for the Terran, he also fell out of Code A and is looking to improve his lackluster 1-6 record against Terrans. And trust me, GSL is chock full of Terrans to test his might. TSL is known for having strong Terran players. Hell, their name has SCV in it. But Revival is looking to show that Zerg is a race to be. A B-teamer from the infamous MBC game Hero back in Brood War, Revival qualified for the Code A tournament in March, losing to Huck and then losing to Ryung in the next tournament. Revival finally will be able to revive, get it, his Code A status. When he wasn't in Code A though, the TSL player had been wrecking opponents in the GSTL, going 6-2 and nearly all killing the OGS team, beating the likes of the STC, Nada, and MC. An unaffiliated player, the Protoss Shiny Star is an oddity within the StarCraft 2 scene. A talented player who clearly made it to the Code A isn't allowed on any team. Is he at Oz and has a restraining order from StarCraft 2 coaches? No, his mom and dad just won't let him. To get into the Code A tournament this time around though, he bested Code S veteran Bonbons. Team Liquid's lone player in the Code A tournament this time around is the Korean Brood War veteran Hero. Originally from OGS, Hero signed with Team Liquid, though the team still worked together in the GSTL and housing in Korea. Hero beat Dongre Gu for a slot in Code A July, where he fell in the first round. Having requalified, Hero will definitely have his hands full this season. OGS's Zerg player Jukto is definitely an odd one. An original Code S player, he silenced critics by qualifying for all 3 open seasons. Jukto wasn't successful in any of his Code S appearances. In fact, after falling to Code A, he kept plummeting down until he was in Code B. Having arguably the easiest qualifying group, it's uncertain whether it was a fluke or Jukto's old skill set pushing him to the Code A this season. Back in Open Season 2, NS Hoso's Protoss player Sage was known as Free DSL. That's right, you heard me correctly. That was his name. Sage lost in the first round and disappeared until the LG Cinema Super Tournament, beating Code S notables Czech and MMA, but losing to SC. Mostly focusing on the GSTL, Sage has made a name for himself, all killing Faux U. His solo tournaments have mostly consisted of the IC Cup weeklies, defeating EG Puma and Marine King. Making his first appearance in the GSL since open season, Sage has come a long way from when he was known as Free DSL. Seriously, worst name ever. Superstar, a Zerg from StarTale, is known for a brief appearance in GSL Open 3, and most notably for dressing like a vampire in the GSTL. These appearances would also be his only showings in any GSL tournament until now. He's also known as Random King, where he has an aggressive, random style on the Korean ladder. Here's hoping that 1, we get to see him do some hilarious cheeses this season, and 2, he brings the cape back. Former Code A Zerg MVP Monster has just 1 official match in the GSL from back in the 3rd open season. He went 0-5 in the Code A Tiebreaker series, and hasn't been able to qualify until now. Monster knocked out StarTale Squirtle in his bracket, but his official record stands at a dismal 6-11. Without wins over any notable players. In a Code A with the likes of MC, Alicia, and other notable Code S veterans, Monster may end up being just a cute little cuddly teddy bear in comparison. An original Faux U player, now an FXO player, Oz is a Brood War veteran. The Protoss player made an appearance at MLG Anaheim, where he placed 29th with wins over Vibe and Trimaster. However, the US scene has been his only foray into singles tournaments, mostly playing on the FXO's GSTL team. Oz, however, has shown his skill by knocking out Slayer's Boxer from Code A qualification. This is the first time Boxer won't be in a GSL tournament since the first season. Can Oz repeat such a strong showing? Random players are few and far between in major tournaments, let alone the GSL. FXO's Gumiho is in fact the rare exception. Having become the only random player to have ever played in a GSL singles tournament, Gumiho is back, but this time, he's not a random. The FXO player switched to Terran and hasn't gone back to his roots yet. Gumiho has performed well in the Zotac Team Invitational in January. He's also been able to tie Dongre Gu in the most GSTL wins. Gumiho was qualified for Code A July, but lost to Ryung in the first round, and was unable to qualify for August. In the preliminaries, Gumiho defeated the STC in an 8-0 run in his bracket. Is Gumiho a quiet threat, or is he only talented with his team cheering him on? With a guy like July on your team, what Zerg couldn't ask for a better mentor? Okay, yeah, there is an ST. But he's still on IM, and July is on StarTale. And StarTale is where the Zerg player Curious trains at. Curious qualified for Code A through prelims on 3 different occasions, competing in March and July, but both times he fell in the first round. Taking third in 2 Icy Cup weeklies and showing off his abilities in the GSTL by all-killing FXO and clinching a win over Incredible Miracle by defeating Yonghua, Curious is arguably a top 5 Zerg player and hasn't ever made it out of the first round of a GSL. Curious is riding a nice 9-game win streak into the first round. Hopefully that'll be enough to propel this Zerg player into a GSL victory. FXO's Protoss player Weekend is an unknown. He beat Yonghua and Jinro to secure his spot. Weekend has also made an appearance in FXO's Korean King of the Hill, falling to Slayer's Sleep. Weekend clearly is skilled, but the question remains, can he put on a good showing on such a large stage, or will he just fall? Don't forget, the season starts on September 19th, and ESFI World is your place to go for coverage. Follow us on twitter.com/ESFI, or check us out at esfiworld.com. I'm Nomad, and see you next time.